Thank you for tuning into our seller interview series. Up today, we've got an Amazon FBA business for sale in the home and garden niche. Created in June 2016, this business makes $13,738 per month in net profit, and the listing number for the site is 43861. We do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We've got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. How are you doing today, Clint?
Oh, Jake, I am doing great. It's a little bit of a gray day here in Seattle, Washington. It was sunny yesterday, but anyways, hopefully it'll burn off a little later.
Awesome. Glad to hear that. I am in Orlando, Florida, where it is hot every single day. So no break from the scorching heat.
Yeah.
So before we dive into the questions I have for you today, I want to run through a quick summary of the business. Again, it was built in June of 2016, has a monthly revenue of $46,467, expenses of $32,730, to make for a net profit of $13,738, which is built on a 9-month average. Included in the sale of this business are 7 domains, a Facebook page, supplier information, vendor introductions, product photos, and customer response email templates. Inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to active depositors. Clint, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses?
Sure. Yeah. Great question. I guess I probably started my first online business back even before college. And it was specifically, I really got into paintball as probably a mid-teenager, and I couldn't afford it. I started mowing lawns to pay for that habit. I grew up in a bit of an entrepreneurial family, and mom had a business license, LLC structure. So I set up a sporting goods business under her before I was even 18 and could even get a business license in our state. And so I started selling camping and sporting goods, ball gear to friends, family. That grew, created my own standalone site. Then eBay came along, started selling via eBay. This is way back before Amazon was even on the scene. Did that for several years. So that was really my first venture into e-commerce north of a decade ago. So I've been an online seller for quite some time. Obviously, advent of Amazon and the FBA model. There's kind of an unprecedented opportunity to be able to create and launch products in a way that we've never been able to before. I saw that, and that's how I started getting involved in Amazon and the FBA network.
So how did you come up with this idea for the business? How did you choose this niche?
Yeah, well, this specific niche and how I got to Amazon FBA, maybe some of your listeners are familiar with Tim Ferriss or the 4-Hour Workweek book. Really, that was a catalyst for me. Every business I've owned previously, I was trading time for money. I'd done that all my life. And it was a lesson I wish I learned a long time ago to stop doing that. When you want to create a business or own a business, try to be doing something where, if your net income is $100,000 and you want to move that to 150, any other sense, you're going to work 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours, and kind of end up killing yourself, trading a social life, trading your health and sanity for a larger paycheck. In reading that book, and that was really the catalyst for me to say, okay, I need to find something, a business where I'm no longer trading time for money. And that's what led me down the path of Amazon FBA and to begin to do some of the research around it. The particular niche we're in, mostly the lawn and garden. Those are going to be the best sellers. And a lot of what you'll hear online, YouTube videos and Facebook groups, people are going to tell you to stay away from seasonal. I also believe that there's definitely a value in being a little bit contrarian there, because what those naysayers miss out on is when you're selling lawn and garden type gear, you really have about a 60 to 90 day Black Friday, and that runs all spring and all summer. And we just kill it. We just do fantastic there. And then things will slow down a little bit, but then we get into Q4, and the reality is everything that's not bolted down gets sold. People buy all sorts of stuff for gifts. Maybe you're selling products that aren't going to be immediately put into use. The reality is our sales prove it, that this stuff sells very well in Q4. We get past that, and then you're into spring again. And we're right back up humming and putting up some great numbers. So that's kind of how we ended up where we are.
And that's Amazon FBA, stands for Amazon Fulfillment by Amazon business model. Clint, can you detail exactly what that means for someone who's unfamiliar with it?
Yeah, great question there. Amazon FBA, of course, Amazon, we can think of that as a sales channel, or almost like the classified ad section of a newspaper at its most basic. Almost the way eBay functions can be thought of as similar to Amazon. It's a sales channel. What the FBA network does is allows us to, Amazon handles all of the warehousing, the order picking, packing, printing order slips, and ultimately shipping and delivery to the customer. So in previous businesses before, I mentioned doing something where you're trading time for money and selling sporting goods, camping gear. I am warehousing the items, I'm packing them, I'm shipping them, and there's the labor, the employees involved with that. I love the Amazon FBA model because Amazon takes care of all of that. There are costs involved, and those are detailed on our statements. But with the FBA model, basically we produce items, we manufacturing trading partners who do that for us. We produce the item, the inventory is shipped to one of Amazon's fulfillment centers. And from that point, Amazon takes ownership of the fulfillment. So meaning the storage, the shipping and delivery ultimately to the customer. So that means I spend 0% of my day packing orders or printing packing slips or going to UPS. Amazon does all of that for me. That's the main large benefit of how this can be scaled and how this can be ran with really just one person and part-time because Amazon takes ownership of that part of the operation.
Like you said, Amazon has really taken over that part of the operation, like you just said, and your goal was to create a 4-hour work week, like Tim Ferriss's book. With all of that said, it sounds like you've achieved it. So why are you selling the business?
Yeah, another great question. I found myself blessed with a curse here. I previously have owned several businesses, one of which was a retail store several years ago. I was approached by a venture capitalist individual, and the first day we met, he walked into my store with a checkbook and a 3-page contract, made me an offer that I couldn't refuse. That was not on the market or was not advertised, fairly surprising. That put me in a fortunate position where I guess I paid off my college debt and I own my house. The problem being is that this is a great Amazon FBA business. I don't have any deductions. I pretty much have 0 deductions when it comes to income tax. And I need something there. The reality is real estate is probably one of the best tax advantaged vehicles out there. There's a real estate opportunity that I'd like to take advantage of, and I need to raise some capital for it. I love the Amazon FBA model. I am not exiting in its entirety. I own multiple brands. I operate multiple seller accounts. My metrics warrant that. I have been granted permission from Amazon to operate multiple seller accounts. So what it comes down to is I love the FBA model. I'm going to stay involved in it in the future. But what I'm trying to do is carve out a couple of good performing brands, sell them off so that I can diversify what I have here so I can own some real estate and look at some of those depreciations from a tax standpoint because my tax bill is going to be very painful this year. And I'd like to mitigate that as much as possible this year and definitely next year.
It definitely makes sense. You want to sell the business to be able to diversify and get into real estate.
Yep.
I think we can all understand that makes a little bit of sense. So when talking about the website and the Amazon FBA that you said has done super well, and as you look at the numbers, we have an average net profit over the last 9 months of $13,000. But as you see, the graph is just going up. So where is all of this traffic coming from?
Yeah, it's all Amazon. Are not driving traffic from Facebook ads or from blogs or influencers or YouTubes. Not doing any of that. Going back to 4-hour work week, I get the Pareto principle, 80-20, right? I'm all about what is going to give the greatest return on my time and on my investment. And the reality is that's Amazon. The reality is, Amazon is just this conversion machine. 30-40% conversion is not unheard of. 50% conversion is possible. And nothing else is like that. So nothing else I've found is like that. I sure would love to know if there wasn't anything more converts better than Amazon. So our traffic is all Amazon. At the moment, I'm not even running pay-per-click advertising. We have over the past, and that's kind of an issue of all of our products are ranked very highly. We're on the first page for everything we sell. Either that bestseller badge, and most of the stuff is on the top half of the page, on page 1. So I have the theory that I believe if you're there and you're running pay-per-click advertising, you're somewhat cannibalizing some of your own sales because you're already on page 1. So we'll dial that back. Like right now, period, if we're not running any pay-per-click advertising, we just stay there. The photos are good. The reviews are fantastic. These listings convert. If and when, of course, it's a competitive landscape out there. From time to time, competitors come on the scene and they're going to try to take they're going to make a move, be it dropping pricing, be it, trying to edge in on a market. Then we'll dial up the PPC. We'll turn it up. I will run at break even for a little bit there. Make sure we stay where we need to be and just begin to kind of throttle that as if, you're cruising down the highway and sometimes you're pushing on the gas and sometimes you're pushing on the brake. Just kind of that back and forth, keep us where we need to be, which to me, that's the top half of page 1. And so that's where we are. We're there now. I don't need any pay-per-click, so we're not even doing that at the moment.
You said that the traffic isn't coming from Facebook ads. If you remember at the start, I read that associated with the business is a Facebook account, which will be included in the sale.
Yep.
If you're not running Facebook ads, what is your Facebook presence like?
Honestly, it's almost zero. Yeah, there is a Facebook page for one brand. It's never been developed. I don't think it has any likes or shares or follows. Really, I created it as an experiment because I wanted to learn how to go through that process and create a Facebook page. We use a service for our email follow-up called Zon Pages. Part of that service is they take your customer list and automatically build a Facebook audience for you. So we have those names, we have that Facebook audience. Of course, all of this information and that data would be included for the new owner. Nothing's been done with it. A Facebook page created, one photo uploaded, the name of the brand typed in a box, and that's it. With the plan of someday, or if necessary, I've got this customer list that's been created by Zon Pages. We could begin marketing to those folks. We could be creating a lookalike audience and start marketing from that standpoint. And all of those are options for the new owner. It's just I have not gone down at the moment.
Did you say that you're doing email marketing? Did I hear that?
No,
No?
no marketing. The only thing we have done in the past is pay-per-click. Other marketing has been, you look back and you see some of the P&L, you'll see some costs back really at the beginning and launch. Of course, there's launch costs. There's getting your product out there. This was back before really Viral Launch, Market Hustle were entities. We didn't use them back then, but there was product launch costs involved. So you're pushing your product out there and getting it in front of people.
Is there a reason why you're not currently doing more with email marketing, trying to re-hit your customers with that list you already have?
If following that 80-20 rule, if I believe there was benefit to hitting existing customers, I would. I think there is a benefit in doing the process of creating an Amazon lookalike audience because our customers have already bought our widgets. They've already bought our mouse traps, garlic presses, whatever. They've already bought that. The real benefit was going to come in creating a lookalike audience and starting to market to those folks. That's just my theory. I'm not a Facebook marketer. I'm not an expert in this area. If I was, I probably already would be doing it. I don't have that skill set. I've not chosen to learn it. I've chosen to focus 100% on Amazon and learning the Amazon platform. So I guess if there's a reason why I haven't, it's basically been me and the fact that I don't have experience there.
Do you feel like that is a good opportunity for a new owner to grow even more and maybe even add blog posts or something like that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely an opportunity there because there's one page that nothing's been done with. So a lot more could be done there, a lot with blog posts, with adding some content, along with start running some Facebook ads and pushing folks to your Amazon listings. Yeah, there definitely is an opportunity there. Why haven't I? So there's the issue of learning it. Also, my cash flow is, I wish I had unlimited resources. I don't. And you see the kind of numbers this business is putting up. It's also an issue of cash flow and how much cash can I put into this in inventory to keep this thing running. It sounds like a crazy problem to have, but it's the reality when you deal in a product-based businesses. Service is great because then you render the service, you cut the person's hair, you do the taxes, you get paid immediately. In an inventory business, you get stretched out on cash flow. So I'm at a point where everything is running comfortably. I like it. I can kind of sit back and do the 4-hour work week thing, right? If I wanted to step on the gas and wanted to ramp it up, that definitely could be done. I just haven't done it.
How many different products are you selling?
I believe we have 5 included in this.
And did you mention before, and I might have totally misheard, so forgive me if I'm wrong, did you say that when setting up the Facebook page, it's only for one of the brands? Does that mean that each product is a different brand?
We do have 3 brands and several different products. One brand, we have a new SKU that's coming on board right now. I'm pretty excited for it. We already are the best seller in the category for the product we have. You look at the frequently purchased together. The frequently purchased together is one of our competitors' items. There's no reason we're not selling an identical product. We made it the same material, same color scheme, same branding. So that's what I'm doing. That product is finished production. It's on the water right now. I believe it's due into the port in California in about 10 days or so. So hopefully we can get that in and get that up pretty shortly. Photographs, as far as a new owner or myself, professional photographs have all been shot. That's all uploaded. Same thing with the professionally designed, the copywriting for the listing, bullet points. That's all done and uploaded and ready to go. So we'll be adding a new SKU to this very shortly. As I said, prototyping is done, sampling is done, production is all finished. So that will definitely be some wind in the sails as far as coming up here in the next. We'll go live hopefully in 10 days, but it'll take a month really to start kind of seeing some of that revenue come back in.
When the site was built in June of 2016, obviously you're just starting out, and now you're making $19,000 a month, or $13,000 if you're looking at the 9-month average. So how quick was the growth there? And did you hit any bumps in the road? Did things go right? Did you have a lucky break? How was the trajectory of the business?
Sure. The luck question, that's easy to answer. I think any entrepreneur that doesn't acknowledge at least some element of luck is probably fooling themselves. I think we all work hard. We make sacrifices. We maintain discipline in what we do. And the idea is that we do that for long enough. We put ourselves in a position where opportunity arises, and boom, that's the catalyst for something great to happen. So, of course, there's probably a certain element of luck here, but also a lot of time, energy, and effort to make it happen. Roadblocks along the way, yeah, certainly. We're playing in Amazon's playground. I think that's a risk, and we all have to acknowledge that. Anybody that doesn't, I would be a little bit leery because the fact is that this is Amazon's world, and we are playing in it. So they get to change the rules whenever they want. Of course, along the way, if you're acting in it, you're following the terms of service, but above and beyond that, you're acting in an ethical and responsible manner. You're not going to have it. You're not going to have any problems. I haven't had any problems. Let that be your guide as far as what choices you're making, and you'll be okay. Challenges, headwinds, yeah, we saw the review shift, that the loss of incentivized reviews. I mean, that's fine. That's been great. That's been absolutely phenomenal for me because we went from a world where it didn't matter how good your product was. All that mattered was how many reviews you could afford to give away. We shifted from that to it actually matters how good your product is. And so that's how we've got hundreds of reviews on some of these SKUs, and our competitors don't. Because when you have those verified, real organic reviews, Amazon is not wiping those and not taking those. What they did was go back and take the fake ones, the unverified reviews. That's been great for me because that's why we're some of the highest reviewed products out there. So yes, I mean, that's a challenge, but that's how we chose to navigate it. There's, of course, a more recent change. We do use an email follow-up service, and that was a lot easier in the past. Now, there's opt-out, of course. So, we're seeing 30-40% of those emails end up bouncing from our folks. That's when, following up, asking if the customer's happy with it, if there's anything we can do to improve their experience, and ultimately asking them if they take their time to leave a review. That shift is also a problem. But these things are going to fall on all of us. It's going to happen to every Amazon seller, not exclusive to us. It's just a matter of how you look at it and how you choose to move forward. So, yeah, we've definitely had some challenges there. Even bigger challenges when starting up, if we want to go back before this, we do a lot of other folks have done and tried, and that is we think we found a product and that we can improve. And I look at that. How can we design this different? How can we package it different? How can we solve a problem in a way that other people haven't thought of yet? And once I come up with that, we're looking for a trading partner, usually a manufacturer in China, to help us with that. So here's my idea, here's my specifications, and try to find someone to do that for us. And the reality is that language barrier is so very real. It doesn't really get talked about a lot until you're in the trenches and you're actually trying to find that perfect trading partner. The language barrier is real. The quality standards also usually don't match what we need. Bearing in mind, manufacturers in China are organizations that build products worldwide. And so a quality standard for another country, another nation, maybe is different than the quality standards that I'm going to expect and that I'm going to be willing to put my name on. So there's a lot of time and a lot of money that was spent there trying to find those great trading partners. Back to 4-hour work week, I really don't want to be dealing with dissatisfied customers. I'd rather spend the time up front. Let's fix those quality issues now. And so we've set some clear expectations with our production partners that here's how we need this to happen. And so that's paid off dividends now. One of our products, we went through 7 sets of samples before we found the right one. I really equate it to, it's like getting married. It's like finding a wife. This is not about a casual hookup situation because this person, this company, you're going to have a relationship where you're helping to provide jobs for these people in a very real way. You're giving them a significant amount of their revenue, and in return, you're getting some quality products to sell. It takes a lot of time to find those. I think that's where a lot of folks just end up kind of giving up and walking away from this type of business model. But when you do take that time, you end up where we are, where we've got hundreds of reviews on products that sell very well because of that time I put in.
So how many different countries are you currently selling in? We've talked about, you just mentioned that there's the language barrier and you have out of the country supplier. So how many countries are you in?
In the United States only, and that's another opportunity. Of course, anybody with an Amazon seller account has North American unified accounts. We could be selling into Canada. We could be selling into Mexico right now. And there's also no reason a new buyer or myself wouldn't be selling in the EU, a UK type account. That's the barrier to entry is pretty low. Amazon has on multiple occasions offered to take our listings and move them over to the UK for us, including moving our reviews. So when we show up on the sites over there, we're showing up just as highly reviewed as we are here in the US. That all is possible. That all could be done. I have not taken the initiative to push us into Canada, Mexico, or anywhere other than the US.
So that's another opportunity, like you said. And we've talked about a few of the opportunities that are available for growth for this business. Are there any more that you feel like a buyer could take advantage of?
Yeah, a bullet point list here. What would be done as far as opportunities? So, yes, expanding into Canada. I think Mexico is a little bit slower, but the products are there. You might as well. But Mexico and Canada are both options. UK is definitely an option. Again, Amazon loves these products, and they've already stated they're willing to translate the listings for us and get us set up over there. Those are opportunities. Probably another really large opportunity that, in my mind, really could probably even double or eclipse Amazon sales. These products, there's really not much reason why these couldn't be taken into traditional retail. That's different, above and beyond your average Amazon FBA seller. But the reality is, we're market leaders in these products. And so, when you delve in and start to look at it, there's really no reason why we're not selling in Home Depot, Lowe's, Costco, places like Staples or Office Max. We really could be there. Why not? I guess it's a matter of connecting with those buyers, forming those relationships, and pushing into those retail stores. We've got the sales velocity, we've got the reviews. So when you have that conversation with a potential with a buyer for a retail chain, I've got the track record that says our products are great. Your customers are going to like them too. I feel that is probably the single largest opportunity, along with expanding into Europe.
So those are a lot of opportunities, and there's definitely more growth. Like we talked about before, you could start doing blog posts, email marketing to drive even more traffic. So there are 5 domains associated with the business that are going to be included in the sale.
Yes.
Have there been sites developed for those domains?
I'll answer with say no, and then let me qualify that. There are not currently any sites running on those domains. I have gone, so back to what challenges have there been? There was a Brand Registry 1.0. We've been through Brand Registry, the first iteration of that Amazon put out. Part of the requirements that they had for us back then were, although of course they wanted to see a pending trademark, photographs of the packaging, photographs of the item. They wanted to see a website. They wanted to see a fully functioning website, meaning a site that the item could be purchased off of, which is strange because Amazon wants all the traffic themselves. But in this case, they wanted a standalone website. So we went ahead and I went down that road, registered some name appropriate domains, created some Shopify sites, but those were created exclusively so that we could be included in Amazon's first version of the brand registry program. Since then, they've been taken down. I've not sold any single item off of those Shopify sites. They were all taken down. I still retain ownership of the domains. Certainly a lot could be done there, but I'm not doing it. All sales are coming through Amazon.
How much work exactly are you doing on the business per week? I know that you mentioned that your goal was to start a business that you could really have a 4-hour work week with, but has that been achievable with this business?
Definitely not in the beginning, but I think that's part of the concept there is be willing to trade a significant amount of your time, dedication, perseverance, right, with that laser focus to build it in the beginning. It definitely was a lot more. The example of 7 sets of manufacturers and not being able to finally finding one. It was a lot more. Now I'm down to the point where really it's we're management, we're keeping everything going. The biggest time draw is most like customer emails. I've created templates for all of those. I mean, I'd say more than 90%. I know what the common customer questions are at this point, so I've created templates that resolve 90% of those. So it's simply a matter of logging in and replying with a template. That's pretty straightforward. Inevitably, there's some issue that you're going to step in as an owner. I mean, that's going to happen whether you own a restaurant or a clothing store or an Amazon FBA business. There's going to be times where you're going to make your own decision about something, a unique situation. So we can't have templates for everything. That's probably the single largest amount of time that's spent. I've considered outsourcing that to a VA or services that offer such things like customer management and customer service. I guess I like to have kind of a pulse on customers' feelings and issues that come up. So I choose to be involved there. It definitely could be outsourced, especially with the amount of templates that I've already written. The other amount of time that gets spent is reordering and communication with our suppliers. I'm ordering containers at a time. Usually, I haven't done an LTL in quite a while. So that ends up being, every 3 months or so, we'll loop back and now it's time for, okay, guys, we need a new reorder. That doesn't take a whole lot of time because, again, we're in this groove where it's just reorder. And that's a lot more simple. The freight forwarders know where they're going. Inspectors, which of course be happy to share my inspector's contact information, freight forwarder contact information. You can choose if you want to use them or not. I also have specification files for every SKU that we're selling here. That's roughly an 8, 10, or 12 page PDF file that shows as many details as I could ever think of about the SKUs we're selling. So We're very clear with our suppliers about how the item is to be packaged, how our branding is supposed to appear on the item, the weight of the item, the dimensions. And so we're very clear with our expectations. In return, our suppliers deliver, on time and with good quality over and over again. So back to the question of how much time, it kind of depends on the person. You definitely could run this in 5 hours a week, is definitely possible. I'm still in the giddy excited phase where I'm checking my Amazon seller app, multiple times a day, because I'm not going to lie. Yeah, we're putting up north of 16, 17, 19 grand a month in net profit. And that is an exciting number. I mean, maybe at some point that won't be a big deal, but that's a big number and I like seeing it. So Frank, there's more time spent there just because I love logging into my seller account and seeing what numbers I put up that day. So if you want to be hands off, yeah, 5, 7, 10 hours is possible.
And that's, just to maintain the business. Obviously,
Yes.
If you want to take advantage of some of the opportunities that we've detailed, it's going to be more work than that.
Exactly. Yeah. That number is just, what if I'm happy with these numbers that are coming in? I'm happy with the net profit. I'm happy with my time. Can I keep it here? And what's my expectation of my time commitment? Yeah, that's right there on average. If you want to dial it up and you want to explore the opportunities of Facebook advertising, of making some connections for retail distribution, yeah, of course, you're going to be spending some additional time on those. Hopefully, then you have the additional return on your investment also.
So this all sounds really good, and it sounds like there's a lot of opportunities available to grow the business more. So now it's time to make a deal. When talking about a deal structure with a potential buyer, would you commit to a non-compete?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very reasonable and expected on my end. Yeah, I have no problem with the non-compete. Yeah, of course, everything that I have becomes yours. Things like all the product photography, any descriptions that I could even possibly claim copyright to, that all becomes yours. All intellectual property. Yes, definitely would happy to sign a non-compete.
And when dealing with the conversion time, taking over the new business, it might be where you need email support and Skype calls to talk about issues and questions, comments, concerns. Are you willing to provide that support?
Yeah, certainly. I understand I'm relinquishing ownership of this and, of course, the revenue that it's been giving me. This has kind of been my baby that I poured my blood, sweat, and tears into creating. As much as possible, I'd like to see it succeed. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think it'd be pretty cool to walk through a Lowe's or Home Depot and see one of my products in the aisle that, at one time I had a hand in creating. Or seeing this stuff in Canada or in the UK, I think that'd be great. I absolutely am willing to provide any support to make the next person make this work. It's all about setting you up for success, right? I want you to be successful. I mean, maybe it's a chunk of my ego, but frankly, I think it'd be pretty cool to see this continue to go and even take it to the next level, if that's what the buyer chooses to do.
Best case scenario, someone comes along and gives us 100% cash offer of what we're looking for, but this is a higher value listing. If that doesn't happen, would you be open to negotiations about other payment methods?
Yeah, I would be open. It's all about looking at the deal structure in its entirety. I don't have any, hard lines in the sand. I think it's all about that conversation of finding the right person that's going to be able to make it successful. Really needs to be mutually beneficial. So, yeah, I'm open to various offers.
Awesome. I'm sure that's very reassuring for someone who is looking at this business, along with the support that you're willing to provide. I have one final question for you, Clint, but before we get to that, I'm going to run through that quick summary of the business again.
Sure.
It was built in June of 2016, has a monthly revenue of $46,467, expenses of $32,730 to make for a net profit of $13,738, which is built on a 9-month average. Included in the sale of this business are 7 domains, a Facebook page, supplier information, vendor introductions, product photos, and customer response email templates. Inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to active depositors. Clint, what is your best 30-second pitch on why someone should purchase this business?
Yeah, great question. Well, it comes down to, the right buyer is going to be someone that's looking for residual income with not a whole lot of time and energy to achieve it. Frankly, I don't know of many other opportunities. There's certainly nothing in real estate. You're not going to own a franchise like a McDonald's and walk into something that's spinning off approaching $20K a month with this amount of time input. It just doesn't happen. I mean, this opportunity just isn't existing in the world. So for the right person, it's a great fit. Someone that's looking for an Amazon FBA business, maybe they've got a couple of products and they want to expand their offering, or you really just want to jumpstart this. You see the opportunity that's out there. And, a big benefit, which we really haven't talked about, is the fact that we're talking about multiple brands here. So what that means to the buyer is you've got a lot of products to be able to launch. Something we haven't touched on is the difficulty of launching products now. No longer doing incentivized reviews. Yes, you can do promos with a service like a Viral Launch or a Market Hustle. Those do exist. The requirement is you're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in giving away products for free. This business that I'm selling, because it's a package of multiple brands, when you want to add an accessory product like the one we're launching right now, you're going to have already the tailwinds behind you for the fact that you've got one listing that's a phenomenal seller, if not a bestseller in its category with great reviews. What you're going to do then is create like a coupon. So when a person buys one of that best-selling item, you give them 25% off the next item you're launching. I mean, that is such a big benefit when it comes to further growth, further expansion, launching those then third, fourth, fifth product on your own, because you're going to be able to take that list, the one best-selling product, and say, hey guys, this is also a good selling product. If you're just starting out or you've got one product that stands alone, that's really tough. And so getting into this game, launching is so critical. You're going to spend thousands of dollars on it. So having multiple brands where you can launch multiple products, that's a big benefit that we really haven't touched on yet.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like there is a lot of opportunities for growth for this business. And like you said, that, there's just more that you can get out of it with having different brands and everything. And it certainly sounds like an awesome business. And I hope you find the right fit for a buyer coming along here.
Thanks, Jake. This is a great chat we've had today.
Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really, really appreciate you hopping right on this and getting this call done.
Great. Yeah. Any further questions? I'd be happy to address them as they come up.
If you're watching this on YouTube and want more information, the link will be below the video that will take you to this marketplace listing. If you're watching this on the listing site and want more information, become a depositor today. All you have to do is click the button, make a deposit, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. Have a great day.